With Episode 9 not only serving as a course correction technique by Disney and Lucasfilm, it will also be a way for both J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio to combine all elements of the Star Wars franchise into one big movie. This is Mike Zero. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. And what I mean by a lot of Star Wars elements being embedded into Episode 9 is, of course, that not only is JJ connecting to the prequels and the originals, but also there will be some Star Wars Rebels connections, as well as connections to some of the video games and comics out there for Star Wars as a whole that fall under the Disney era. So looking at everything here, when it comes to Episode 9, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film when it comes to some of the set leaks, the set designs, the concept art and storyboard descriptions, etc. Now, a lot of people have been wondering about Ezra Bridger and his potential involvement in Episode 9. Now, there have been little hints, little breadcrumbs, right, of hints that actually do tell us that he could be a part of Episode 9, and after all, at the very end of Rebels Season 4, it's pretty much left open in the air as to exactly what happened to Thrawn and Ezra at the very last episode of Rebels Season 4. So, with that being said, specifically a description of Maz Kanata and her crew fighting a group of stormtroopers in front of a large base on a jungle world, in which, by the way, this jungle world that we have been talking about, I believe, is the planet Batuu. Moving on. Next to her are multiple members of her crew, one of which is an older man with long, wavy black hair, in a green vest with a blaster in his hand. On his belt appears to be a lightsaber hilt, however he is not using it at the time. The character has the tan skin and blue eyes just like Ezra Bridger, and with one of the new characters being codenamed EB, this could have a connection. The last goes over the character that resembles an older Ezra talking to Rey, Finn, and Poe, with dead stormtroopers on the ground in the background. So, I want to go over something here. Now, normally, for a character like this, that's being described with the long wavy hair and the green vest, I would definitely have to say that at that point, it could be just a different character. But what's really interesting to me is the lightsaber that's actually connected to his belt and how he is indeed a part of Maz Kanata's crew. Now, the lightsaber on his hilt, I believe, is the dead giveaway here that this has to be Ezra Bridger and not just some random character. Also the green vest, right? If you look at Ezra in Rebels, and of course, you know, at the very last episode, you do notice that he has that green vest, that green outfit, that traditional green outfit in that actual series. So it seems as though that they're trying their very best in order to make these huge connections to Star Wars Rebels. Now, this is a huge hint that Ezra is going to be a part of the Episode 9 plot, no matter how big or small. I think it's a great way to satisfy a lot of Rebels fans. And after all, this movie really is going to be an all-out war, a war to end all wars. And I believe that the Resistance needs to get every piece of help that they can get out there around the galaxy in order to take down the First Order once and for all. And honestly, guys, I feel like I'm really getting Avengers Infinity War vibes here for Episode 9, and we heard about these rumors, I would say, about a month or so ago, that Disney and Lucasfilm are trying to take elements from Avengers Infinity War and put that into Episode 9. And what I mean by this is they're trying to insert a lot of characters into this movie. There's going to be a lot of deaths, a lot of sacrifices, a lot of twists and turns here and there, things that you would not expect to see in a movie like this. So it sounds like that this movie really is going to go all out in an all-out war, because this is the final chapter film. This is the final Skywalker saga movie. At least that's what they are telling us right now. Could they change things in the future if this is a box office hit and really does make a lot of money? Maybe, you know, that's a huge if. But looking at Episode 9, guys, Ezra Bridger and his involvement, I believe, also lines directly up with how there will be connections to Star Wars Rebels in this movie. Now, could that mean the worlds between worlds? For sure. We do know that Dave Filoni has actually talked with JJ, Rian Johnson, Jon Favreau, all the guys that are developing these big Star Wars projects, right? And they all talk to each other in order to keep the continuity in place. Do I think Ezra Bridger is a good idea to put in a live-action movie and actually see him in live-action form? It can be. It all really depends. You know, we saw Saw Gerrera, right? He was actually a character in the Clone Wars TV series. And to be quite honest, I was a little, I don't know, mixed about that character. You know, I wasn't all too much into him. I wasn't really emotionally invested in the character. Sure, he had his injuries, he had this and that, but I felt like that character was a little too separate from the character that we saw in the Clone Wars. Yes, this was a different character because he was older, he had the injuries and whatnot. It seems like they're going to try to do the same exact thing with Ezra Bridger. So Rogue One had Saw Gerrera, you know, that was a Clone Wars character. Seems like they are trying to do the same exact thing in Episode 9, perhaps, with Ezra being the older character now from a Rebels actual character in Episode 9. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.